Hi, my name is Pete Kane. I go by Podcast Pete. So I want to be with you today to give you why is an ecosystem important to scaling and growing your business. I want to give you the 10 steps, the ecosystem we use in our business. So if you're looking to grow and scale your business, or you're a nonprofit that want to grow and scale your business for greater impact on your community, or you're a corporate professional that wants to have a plan, say you either retire or get laid off. You want to always know, have a plan, be able to do something if something happens, like a stroke. You have a stroke, I had to shut down my digital business because I couldn't do it anymore. I had to switch gears to what my partner said, podcasting. It was the best thing because being dyslexic, being ADHD, you have a certain mindset about how you grew up. So this is 50 years in the making. And it's a reason I can connect, love, understand you. I can understand transition, understand that it's a mindset. It's all about the mind, the habits, and the goals. And we have a special for you for those that stay around. They will get something truly special that could change your business, your life for the better. We are in the brightest, the best time of our lifetime. Everything's coming together. It's the perfect storm of opportunity. But with opportunity, it knocks at the door. If you don't go in, no opportunity. So I'm going to give you 10 steps plus a bonus. And at the end, I'm going to give you something, our masterclass, that you can learn on your own because we have a do it yourself plan. We have a moderately plan that's tied into our collective magazine that's very affordable for everybody. Then we have a higher plan, which is one-on-one coaching with me. There's only 4, but that's 4 every quarter. So if that serves you and you want to be able to get things faster, want to ride a Porsche versus a bicycle, that may be for you. If you have a bicycle and you just want to ride it a little faster, the second one could be for you. And the third one is you better prepare because you're going to see drastic change. AI is driving it. A little of the political winds in Washington's driving it. You can see clues out there if you are self-aware of what's going on. So let me get to the number one. Number one, and let me see if I can. Yeah, I think I can. I'm going to present to you slides that'll help you visually see. Okay, now I'm going to talk through this assessments and waiting list. Why is that number one? Well, leads are everything to a business. If you don't have leads coming in, you don't have cash flow, you don't have a business that's going to grow. So you have to develop a system, a process that you can get continuous flow of leads. Now, Daniel Priestley is the master at this. So if you have never heard of the assessment waiting list concept, Google him. Daniel Priestley. Score App is one of his companies, but he's grown 8 companies to a multi-million-dollar company, and he does it through a scalable system, a model, a framework. And part of that framework is the assessment. I'm going to tell you a little story. I stumbled on him when I heard him on a podcast, and he made sense because he talked my language. He talked about the importance of assessment. Why does a waiting list give you pricing flexibility? Why is it important to understand your capacity limits and that you have to have that built in? Now, assessments, here's how it happened. I watched him, listened to him for many, many podcasts. Then I had a person on my podcast. And I always ask, how can our viewers reach out to you? And he said, well, I have an assessment. and I have my newsletter. And he had 20,000 people in his newsletter. And so he gave me the assessment link. And I said, assessment? I've heard that before from Daniel Priestley. I wonder if it's the same. Well, after the podcast, I got curious. That's a clue. Get curious with things. And I took it. And my jaw dropped because it showed me, it gave me the experience, the power of an assessment. So what did I do? I got one immediately. Our team in the Philippines put it together. I was on the street the next day, using it, testing it, trying it out. That's what I always recommend. Do you learn something? You get something? Take action on it. Do it. So all of a sudden, I saw the value of it. I saw how it worked. I understood. Then I got his book, Overprescribed. Then 24 Assets. Then Key Influence, Key People, Key Persons of Influence. 3 books. Got them all. Read them, listened to them, and went over them with AI just to get the main points. But I totally dove in deep into his philosophy. Now it's step number 1 of our ecosystem. Okay, so you can get it. You can go. Let me give you somewhere where you can experience, because if you're like me, you don't know, it makes sense, but go to petecain.me and take an assessment. See what I'm talking about. When you do that, you'll be able to understand a little bit better of what an assessment, a waiting list. And before I go on number 2, I want to talk to you about waiting lists. So a waiting list is something like, as Daniel says, Rolex. If you want to buy a Rolex today, you can't. You got to get on a waiting list. They know how to have capacity in their business. They only produce a certain amount. And so if you want one, you're going to have to wait. I don't know what the waiting list is today, but they figured it out versus something that doesn't have a waiting list. Let's look at an airline ticket. If I want to go to LA today, I can buy a ticket. Now, it costs me more today than it would 2 weeks ago because it's just supply and demand. As the seats get less, the price goes up somewhat, but I still can get a ticket. There's no waiting list. I get on it. I mean, yes, if the flight's booked, it is, but in a sense, the airline ticket is ready and available. That's why the value of it, I mean, you think, gosh, I want that pilot to be well trained. I want that plane to be the best. And I want to pay my life's important. But when it comes to supply and demand, they have not figured that out. So the supply is way up there and the demand. The supply is above the demand. That's why they don't have pricing flexibility, tension, as Daniel says. Okay, so go dig in deeper. Google search Daniel Priestley. Get some of his books. I do them on Audible. I've listened to each book more than once. Well, I've listened to 2 of them more than once. I still have one, the Key Performance Indicator. The next of our step, number 2. No, excuse me. Oh, no, it's out of sequence. Let me see. Dang, I have a podcast. Nope, it is out of sequence. Okay. High performance mentoring guide. Why is high performance coaching or a mentor, a guide so important to the success of your business? You probably looked at, not probably, we'll try to put that link in there about Mount Everest. And I think this is the best example I can give to you. When you want to climb Mount Everest, do you do it by yourself or do you hire a guide? Well, you hire a guide. That's an obvious question because you can't do it by yourself. You need a team and you need a person that's experienced, that knows the mountain. Do you go straight up the mountain or do you do it in stages, what we call base camps? Again, the latter. And the guide or a coach in the business sense, business world, going to get you to the first base camp. So you're making big moves, small steps, big moves. So you know what you need to do to get to that first base camp. By doing that, what you're doing is your strategy is get to that first base camp. When you get to it, you reassess. The guide says, okay, the weather's changing in the next day. We're not going to be able to leave till Tuesday and say this is Saturday because the weather won't give us the favorable way. So we're going to be at the base camp camping out. And he knows, or she knows, that maybe he was planning on going up the east side of the mountain. Now he's got to go up the west side because of the weather change. That's what a coach, that's what a guide will do. If you didn't know that and you just get to the base camp and say, I'm going to leave tomorrow, the weather comes in, your life could be in jeopardy. So in business, your business could be in jeopardy because you make too many bad moves without a guide, without a coach. And in our case, it's a high performance coach. And you can go search Brendon Burchard. He's the highest paid, best coach in the industry. Been doing it for 20 years. He's got a community of 400,000 plus. So just search him, Brendon Burchard, motivation, coach, whatever you want to put in there. You'll see him. He has more content out there than anybody. So in our ecosystem, got to have a mentor, you got to have a guide, and you got to have community. And you'll see a constant theme in our ecosystem is community. So let's go to the next one. I thought this was the second one, but this is the third. Podcasting equals online courses and assets. Why do I say that? I've done 300 plus podcasts. What did I learn? A whole lot. Every guest, I learned something from my guest. And I created an asset. So if you Google search Pete Kane, put the word podcast in there, put the word podcast Pete, whatever, you'll see my digital assets out there. You'll see the blogs. You'll see the masterclass. You'll see the podcast. You'll see a lot of stuff out there, and we haven't even started. But you got to create assets, digital assets, because the world has changed. It's been changing for years now. So you got to think, how are you going to present yourself in a digital footprint? So if they go and they see, let's say I meet you at a cocktail party and we have a good conversation. You go, man, that guy was interesting. What do you think you're going to do the next day? Google him. You're going to Google, and if you see nothing like a website, maybe a LinkedIn profile, it's not enough. That's not enough because there's a formula called 7-11-4. 7-11-4. This is Daniel Priestley. Again, you'll see a theme between Brendon Burchard and Daniel Priestley throughout this, and my partner, Jeff Borshaw. Those three, you're going to see a common theme. But here's what I'm going to share with you is when you do a podcast, not only do you learn, but you create a digital asset. So if somebody's going to do business with you, there is a magic formula, 7 hours. They have to consume 7 hours of you. Let me see if I can put myself back up here. I want to kind of see you, sort of, maybe. Nope, that didn't work. Yeah, that didn't. There we go. Okay, so the fact is here is people have to consume 7 hours of you. It's a known formula. And what it is, people have to know, like, and trust you. And to do that, they have to consume you. So online, it's digital. So the digital assets that you put out there, you're giving people an opportunity to consume your solution, you. Because you got to solve problems out there. And if through your content, like I did with Daniel Priestley, like I did with Brendon Burchard, is I kept consuming a lot, and then all of a sudden, click, you know the person. Now, what is 11? That's Google's 0 moment of truth. Google that. 0 moment of truth. It's basically triggers, signals, buying signals. Like, do you ever see how you start searching for something, then it starts appearing because they can follow you. They know after 11 buying signals, you're ready to do something. You're ready to buy. But if you're out there looking one time, you're not ready to buy. So you're looking 11 times, you're giving a person, a business, a buying signal. And in our case, with our ecosystem, you got to have a lot of content out there. So you give people an opportunity to consume 7 hours of you. And if 7 hours are solving the problem, they get to know, like, and trust you, you have a better chance of doing business. So online courses, we give away a free mini course. And I'm going to give away something right here. I'm not going to even wait to the end. If you go to petekane.me/masterclass, you get that for free. You don't have to even give me your name and email. It's just my gift to you. And I want to give it to you now versus later. So if you have something to do, which I wouldn't leave, but hey, look, we all have a choice. Okay. The next one is be a part of something bigger. Share your story in our collaborative magazine. If you go to this link, and it's petekane.me/magazine, you'll see Kennesaw Happenings. That's our first magazine. That's a prototype of what's going to come. So if you're in an area and you want a community, you want a both digital, which is podcast, and written, which is the print. It's available on Amazon. Just go to Amazon, type in Kennesaw Happenings. You'll see the magazine up there, and you can order it, get one, see what it's like. You can hear my story. You can hear 30 other stories of podcasters who I personally know, who I have their story in the magazine. And you'll be able to see our 10 eco steps. So we give you a lot. You can do this by yourself, but why would you? You want help. You want to get there fast because, man, the climate's changing quickly. And so if you go there, you can get on a waiting list for a different city. And once we have enough demand in a city, we only do 2 a month. So when we have demand in that, we launch another magazine. Now, the cool thing about this is each magazine has a coach. Myself at first, and then we're part of a network of high performance coaches with Brendan Bouchard, who certifies them. He's just finishing certifying people this week. So people that we can, that share our vision of a bigger impact will be part of this. And so when you are in a magazine, we're going to help you with the strategy. And if you want a great, Seth Godin's the best out there. If you want his latest book, This Is Strategy, unbelievable book. And he's on podcast. So Google him. Consume his information about strategy. He has a thought-provoking, unbelievable, I think it's his 26th book, but it talks about strategy. And that's what we do with this magazine. It's a strategy. It's an asset. It's a community. Think of it, Kennesaw Happenings, as a community. Then if I drill down, I walk shopping centers. I meet the business owners. And I meet them to have conversations with them. I want to talk to them about their story. What makes them unique? What makes them different? Because you have to be unique and different out there. It's very crowded. I mean, we get 6,000 marketing messages a day. How are you going to see through all that? How are you going to get through all that? But your story will do that. So in the magazine, in a shopping center, could have their own magazine. What I was not surprised, I don't know if surprised is the thing, because I've heard this before. I would say, hey, do you know Joe next door? No, I've been in there and I've had lunch there, but I don't really know him. He's your neighbor. She's your neighbor. Go meet her. Know the story. So we're going to connect the shopping center with stories, with a magazine, so you know your neighbor. You know why they got in business. What is their passion? What impact do they want to make? So when you know a person's story, you never forget it. So that's this one. Now let me go to our next one, Growth Day. Do you need to invest in yourself? The question is, The answer is yes. You're the best investment you can ever make. Let me take you back about 9, 10 months. I was listening to Ed Milet and Brendon Burchard on a podcast. I heard them mention Growth Day. What, Growth Day? I had seen Brendon 10 years ago. A client of mine said, "Hey, while you're on the West Coast, you want to go see this guy, Brendon Burchard?" I said, "Yeah, why not?" So we flew up to San Francisco and watched a weekend that was unbelievable. I mean, my jaw dropped. The person's energy, the quality, the information. I lost touch with him. I don't know why. I can't believe it because I listened to everybody out there. But I did. I lost touch with him. All of a sudden, I see him and he says, Growth Day. I go in there and oh my golly, my jaw dropped. I fell on the floor. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe what value. I got 14 days to try it out. And those 14 days, Brendon was talking to me personally, not personally, but through the app on Daily Fire. So it was a message, a framework, an idea. His 20 plus years in coaching, he was giving me a message that would go away at midnight. So I would journal it, I'd write it, I'd apply it, I would do everything. Then I started getting into it. And then I started seeing that I upgraded and I went to more access to more information. Totally loved every bit of that journey. I mean, you have the Habits of Highly Effective People is in there, and that's a $300 course that's available. But you have journaling, you have goals, you have challenges, you have monthly events. It's the best investment you could ever make is in Growth Day, and it's 14-day free. Let me see if I can flash something up there for you to try it out for free. Yes, so it's free for 14 days. And if you go to PeteKane.me/Growth Day, you can get 14 days. And then if you decide you want to continue, you can. It's $49 a month. And if you do that and you get it through this link, tell me, send me an email. We have a free gift with you. Mindset, goals, and habits. It's a free online course. It's a $50 a month, $500 course. We give that to you for free. And that's our way of saying thank you for investing in yourself. Okay. So Growth Day, I can't tell you enough, but Google it. Be able to check it out for 14 days for free, and you'll be able to experience it. Okay. Live events with the High Performance Mindset. One of our avatars, well, they all are this way, is people that want to grow and scale their business. If you want to grow and scale your business, one of the things you have to get good at is talking on a platform, because it's educating one on many. So if you're not comfortable with that, and the second biggest fear to dying is speaking in public. So if you're fearful of it, you can grow the fear on one shoulder, or you can grow the courage. And we do 5 minutes. So we give we'll give 3 points, 5 minutes, so you can get used to speaking in public on a platform, because everybody needs a speaker, good speaker. So if you become good at this skill, not only will you invest in yourself and get good at this skill, but you'll meet people. You'll connect with other people that want to do the same thing. You'll get encouragement. You'll get feedback. You'll meet people. We do this right now every other month. And our next one is the 18th of January. So you have to be a podcaster to be able to get there, or you have to be a friend of a podcaster. So this is going to come the 18th. It's a Saturday morning from 10 to 11:30 at Grace Church. So live events helps you develop the skill of speaking and connecting. Why join our ambassador program? It's our branded ambassador. If you've done a podcast, you can join this. We want people that know, like, and understand our ecosystem. We're not looking for everybody. We're just looking for people that have experienced us, our ecosystem, been on a podcast, that know our system, and they want to refer that to other people, because The people that are best of sharing are people that experience the growth. So you can do that, and we give 15% for people that want to refer us. So you don't have to do it, but this is where you can get to a cost marketing neutral. Because if you're helping each other and the money's staying in the community, you have a chance to absolutely flatten your cost of investing in yourself. Your marketing investment can be eventually zero if you do this. And that's just the word ambassador. But we'll go into, if you're interested, you just shoot us an email. Okay. Send out cards. I've been doing this for 10 years. Why? Because there's nothing more connecting than keeping yourself top of mind, plus recognizing people. I've sent out more birthday cards than most. I have sent more thank you cards because I'm not generally a writer. Now, I write more than I have in the last 2 years, but I never did because of being dyslexic. Spelling was not my friend. With Alexa now coming out, I can get words spelled. Matter of fact, she's probably going to know she did. I can get the spelling on words by just giving a voice command. So I'm better at it. It doesn't slow me down when I'm writing. But picture cards, emotional cards connecting with people. We use it to touch our clients and people on a monthly basis because people will say word of mouth. Oh, how do you grow your business? Word of mouth. Do you think you're going to be the topic of a thought when they're getting 6,000 marketing messages a day? No chance. So you're getting a small percentage of referrals that you can get. But if you're intentional about sending education, helping, getting in the mailbox, this is not a digital card. It's a physical card that comes in their mailbox. And if you go to our petekane.me/send out cards, you can send one for free and try it out. And just send us a note too. If you do that, we have a gift for you. So send out cards is our number 8. And number 9 is social media amplification. I think the thing you have to understand here is social media is changing. So you have to be changing. If you listen to Gary Vee, he talks about the changing nature. You got to create video content. There's so much out there. If you're not giving people more of value, then you don't amplify your social media. So Monica, she's our social media strategist, will help you with that, but that's a number 9. And the last is AI. Now, you've all heard of AI. I'm not the first to tell you, but think of it as business speed. And think of it, if you've had a negative kind of mindset about it, I want you to do what I did. My partner, Jeff Bourgeois, gives away a free course. So if you go to petekane.me/AI, you can get his free course. So why is this important? You got to be aware of things changing. It's a tool. Let AI do 80%. He kept saying, Peter, using AI, and I'm too busy. I don't have time for that. I don't know if I believe in it. That was my mindset. Then he kept after me. Are you using it? Are you using it? Finally, I did for a course. What used to take weeks, maybe months, maybe never even get it, I got it done in seconds. And then my jaw dropped again of really discovering the power of it. Now, here's what I want you to understand and take away from this. AI is 80%. You're still 20%. HI, human intelligence. What we do is we feed it 10% on the front end, and then on the back end, we put our human touch to it. But we allow AI to do 80%, we do 20%. That way, if you just 100% AI, you're in trouble. You don't need that. You need to be using it as a tool, an access, a resource for you to grow your business, because speed is going to be important in business as we head into this era of AI. And for those that have followed it, it's going to make electricity look pale because you're going to say pre-AI. I remember when I didn't have AI and now I do. And we've been using forms of AI for a long time. So it's not that it just popped up, it's just hitting a stage where, on a any kind of growth of an innovation, you have your early adopters, then it becomes more mainstream. It's becoming more mainstream, but you've got to apply it. If you're not playing with, you're too busy. Like I like to say, people, if you're on the busy bus, you got to get off that bus. You got to get on the purpose plane because a plane is quiet. It goes to the destination. You buy a ticket. A bus goes wherever the bus route goes. And you can get off the bus, but you're going to go where the bus is programmed to go, the route is taken. So don't use the excuse that I'm busy. I don't have time to learn about AI. Get familiar with it. Take Jeff's course, Jeff Bourgeois, Borschowa. Search him online. See. Go to LinkedIn. Go to Amazon. See all the books he's written. You'll see the assets that he's created. But he has done nothing except focus on his AI the last 6 to 8 months. And so it's a phenomenal product. I'm with him every Monday, so I understand a little bit more about what's coming, but you want to implement that. And you want to be able to get his free course so you can get familiar with it. So the last is, not next to last, Podcast Academy. If you've been hearing a lot about podcasting, you're right. The recent elections, one leveraged long form podcasting, one didn't. One was a winner, one was a loser. So you pick the one you want to be. Podcasting is important. And you can go to PeteKane.me/PA Podcast Academy, take an assessment, and be able to get a mini course there because we're going to help you make money using podcasting. A lot of people start it because it's a fad and you hear a lot about it, but you got to have a strategy. If you have a strategy, you're going to win. If you don't, you're not going to stay with it. So get your digital assets out there, learn a strategy and embrace it and make it part of your ecosystem that we have. And the last is buy back your time with Team Trexa, the amazing Trexa. So we have a team in the Philippines, and Team Trexa is our leader in the Philippines. But buying back your time is critical to your success. The reason we put bonus here, that's not available like the others are. You can do those other ones regardless of me. But here, we only let our one-on-one clients have access to this. It's just a privilege, and we are not in a position to offer it to everybody. So it's only for our best clients. But you have to think of the word buy back your time. Dan Martell, Google him. He's got more content out there. Well, him and Daniel Priestley are pretty much up there with Brendan, is having valuable content online. But understand, get the book, buy back your time. I have it. I don't know where it is right now, but I've listened to his audiobook at least twice. I've listened to hundreds of his videos, which are podcasts, and he's very good at communicating strategy. So that is our master class. So right here, you can go and get it. They're individual videos, or listen to this. Share this with somebody you think could benefit. An entrepreneur that wants to grow and scale their business, a nonprofit that wants to grow and scale their business for greater impact on their community, and a corporate professional that wants a option if something happens in their job, in their career. And there will be a lot of changes coming up. So you want options. The more options you have, the better. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. And definitely take the assessment. If you want to see what the assessment's like, go to PeteKane.me. Take an assessment. Understand how this step can help you generate leads. Thank you so much. I'm Pete Kane. It's a pleasure to be with you, and I appreciate you sharing this with somebody that you want to help or yourself. You can do each one of them individually. You don't have to have me, but together we're better in our community of helping people grow and scale their business, because 10x is easier than 2x. And there's even a book out there. So Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy have a book out there. So go listen to that too, because you want to be scaling your business, because when you scale your business, you create systems. You think differently. You act differently. You set up your schedule differently. You batch your time, and I could go on, but this will make the difference in how you take care of your family and have a lifestyle business that will make you I'm out of words. Thank you so much. Have a great one.